Welcome back to Different Style Whites, the cure for wrestling burnout, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd say that's fair. It's certainly helped me to an extent. I know it's helped you a lot.
It today was like, yes. This is why. This is why
Yeah.
we're doing this. And man, we had 4 matches last week. We sort of have 5 this week.
You're not wrong. We do. Wow.
One of them is a squash of
Yeah.
sorts.
One of them is just the same match continued with someone else, but
Yeah.
but yeah, we are back with the Seishin Kaikan invasion of New Japan. Um, Usually at the start, I give some lore, but really, the lore that you need to know was the entirety of the last episode. So, I'll do a quick recap. Kuniaki Kobayashi is a piece of shit, and he will die. That's all you need. If you want to learn more, go listen to the last episode. Uh, but there's really, there haven't been any like super important developments since the end of that. I guess I will say as the end of Koshinaka Saito signaled, Masashi Aoyagi is here. He is finally bucked up. He is finally going to engage in the conflict. And I mean, it takes this whole feud that has been really scrappy and violent and dangerous. And as much as I love everything that's come before, because I love all of it, especially Saito Koshinaka, it's when Aoyagi like actually gets in the matches that there's that tinge of the like hyper drama, which even then in the other matches the most dramatic moments are usually Aoyagi on the outside doing something, but
Yes.
now that he's in the ring, it's just that last thing, that last piece of the puzzle is there. And the stuff we're going to talk about this week, Jesus Christ, man.
It's fucking crazy. And we start with sort of a continuation, and I think, well, maybe it's after the second match the tone changes a little. But if you listen to last week, we talked about a tag that was not a tag, that
Yes.
was just like utter chaos. And we kind of get that again, except we sub out Long Duck Dong and we sub in the GOAT.
Yes, we are here on. Oh fuck! I don't even got the dates pulled up. I'm riding off at
3992.
3992. We are here.
Once
Uh,
again, the main event of a 9,000 seat venue, a card that had Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow against Chono and Hashimoto, and this was the main over that
yes,
awesome match.
this is once again because this is the way they were doing it the whole time. I believe up to like whenever god I guess the whole actually the entire thing, because that's the reason they never come out with entrance music, is because they're continually marketing these as extra matches, like they're not actually on the card. It's just New Japan has given these people the ability to go out and do whatever they're going to do, but they're not like, we're not advertising it per se, it's a, which again, talk about last episode, really cool fucking way of like just saying we want, like, this is gonna be so violent, we don't want to officially attach our names to it.
Yeah, that's a classic wrestling tactic used in a different
Mhm.
style fight context, and it's very titillating as a
Yes.
fan of old school wrestling. That's
It-
always very exciting.
it's a whole tour of lights out matches, which is such a funny concept, but like it rules so much. Um, and we are also here. We are in Kyoto, Japan, which I believe none of the like major inciting incidents happened in, but like it's a 9,000 seat arena. Um, and fucking they're here. And this, you are right. This is kind of the turning point, or the next match is really when the turning point happens. But this is the last of the outright like rabid fights. Because just like before, uh, the bell is a suggestion. These guys are off to the races. I will say, I love the shot of them just standing there staring at each other as like Mr.
Oh,
Takahashi like explains rules to them, like to try and tell them here's what you need to do for a tag match, and then they just don't listen and they bum rush.
and we do need to. I don't think we said the actual match. It's Kuniaki Kobayashi and Koshinaka against Akitoshi Saito and Masashi Aoyagi.
Yes, it is the two major players of both sides finally facing off. In a tag
And
match at least.
on paper, it's hard to imagine something fucking cooler. This is not
Yeah,
like a long thing and it's a build thing sort of, but Jesus Christ.
yeah. No, these four guys just and I think one of the best parts of this whole feud is just how much they do in the time they have, because all of these matches are worked in such a way that like they never go longer than, I think Koshinaka Saito was the longest match that we talked about last week, and that was like 13 minutes. Um, this one is less than 8 minutes. And that's if you combine
Yeah.
what happens later. um, but yeah, no, off to the races immediately, and it's just such a crazy thing to watch, because we said this like 5 times. It is just slightly more organized street fighting. Like, it is unreal the stuff these guys do to each other, not only like in terms of the violence, but how they go about doing it, because there are no tags, there's no real structure to like how they're gonna space out the spots. It's just these guys fight each other. Eventually one guy goes down long enough that the guy that was beating him up runs over to go double team someone,
We'll team the other
and
guy.
then when that guy when the guy that was down recovers, then it splits off into pairings again, and that's the whole match. And it is, I mean, it's just unreal. You've never seen anything like it.
And the MO of Saito and Oyagi is when we're double teaming excuse me, when we're double teaming somebody, we're just going to rain down blows on them like unrelentingly, like we talked about last week, like just throw in everything you have nonstop. And
Yes.
when Koshinaka or Kobayashi are double teaming somebody, they're trying to get somebody down and like break their arm
Yes.
or invent new ways to curb stomp them.
Yeah, no, and Kobayashi, especially in this match, is like Koshinaka, of course, always shows out. This is probably my favorite Kobayashi performance up to this point, because he is like ripping these guys apart. He actually like physically rips apart Aoyagi's gi like really early in the match, just
Early
rips it in
on, yeah.
half. Yeah. Which means that Aoyagi is not able to do the gi off spot, because Kobayashi's which is, awesome thing. Kobayashi eliminates his power up spot by fucking up the shirt. um, but these guys are just beating the fuck out of each other. The announcer at one point, I'm fairly certain, says the phrase "Stop the Seishin Kaikan," which I was like, wow, that's incredible. Um, and I mean, just like Koshinaka's in a zone, Aoyagi's in a zone, Saito's in a zone. There's so many awesome moments of like when the double teaming happens. Like when Koshinaka has Saito like in a dragon suplex position, and he is like trying so hard to do it, and Saito is struggling, and he struggles long enough for Aoyagi to just run over and kick like Koshinaka in the head.
And yeah, that's one of a couple of things in here that I wanted to talk about because I mean, that will pay off later.
Yes.
Koshinaka trying to get on something we haven't seen in a different style fight yet, like a super finisher in a different
Yes.
style fight. Like, I'm just going to break your neck.
Oh, dude, he is dead set on that, especially later on. But like even here, he is so committed to like trying to like break these guys' necks.
He does we talked about the shoot hip attacks last week. He does one to the back of Oyagi's head. That, like,
Yes,
how did that not give you like actual whiplash?
dude, it was crazy too, because it was one of those moments where the fucking karate guys have Kobayashi in the corner and they're just punching the hell out
He
of him. Which I
yeah,
will say, love the fucking karate punches. I love them so much, and they are in abundance in this match.
Yeah, he spent a lot of the early going of the match covered up in the corner, just getting wasted. And no matter where he moved his hands to cover, he has two like precision karate
Yeah.
fighters like just going around his hands. It's brutal.
It is so brutal. And I have written in here that the ebb and flow of the match is just entirely on whoever's in control. Because I mean, really, I don't know how to communicate this enough. Nothing about this match feels planned in any way, shape, or form. Like not even down to the because you talk about like matches where it's like, oh, like they called it in the ring. Like whether you know that for a fact or whether you can just tell from the way they work. But even then, calling it in the ring implies that during periods of the match they are talking to each other to plan ahead like a few spots. That doesn't happen here. It is just ripping each other apart, punching and kicking them, and then sometimes one of the wrestlers forcibly like deadlifts a guy into a suplex. It's never it at no point are these guys like trying to work a sequence
Yeah,
or trying to do a spot.
I think they want it to be a mystery what's coming next so they can fully lay in whatever it is they've just decided to do.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does, there were some there, but it does lead to these beautiful moments like where both of the wrestlers have a guy in like a really dangerous hold, or
Yes.
both of the karate fighters are fighting back, or like the it's sort of in the middle-ish, I guess, where Koshinaka does a backdrop and Kobayashi does like the goddamnedest power slam ever, and it's like
Fuck,
sort of at the same
man.
time. Yeah.
I I I love the Kobayashi like weird power slam capture suplex thing. He is so aware of them wearing gis, like he just latches onto that and uses it for any leverage. But yeah, no, these guys are just finding every single way to beat each other down or throw each other or rip each other's bones apart. Um, and it goes on for about 6 minutes of that. Just unrelenting violence. And Kobayashi is throwing these like knees to the gut and headbutts. And at some point he
That's
throws this.
the
Oh,
theme of the week, by the way. The
oh
Kobayashi
yes.
knee lifts and headbutts.
Yes,
Sorry.
hardcore. But in the middle of comboing Saito with those, he like lets him go and does one of the like the spin kicks that he would do to like Sayama a lot, and just generally one of the fucking Bruce Lee spin kick looking things. Um, but this one is like the nastiest one he ever hit because it was just a full force attempt to kick him in the face, and you can kind of see Saito go down, and Aoyagi's kind of fighting off the pro wrestlers, but he's getting double teamed a little bit. And Mr. Takahashi goes over to Saito, and Saito is on the ground, and Mr. Takahashi calls it. And at first, it's like, oh, is that like a weird like KO thing? But it's like Saito very obviously is not knocked out; he's just down. Um, and then the camera like goes over, and you can see Saito, and he is bleeding profusely from the face, and he is like clutching his eye, and he is crying, but like really pissed off. But like you can like he's pissed off, but he's also crying like he can't not cry. Like his body's having a physical reaction to whatever just happened to him, and it's just this moment of like confusion and like what the fuck is going on. And I again talked about the last week with the wall stuff. I have no idea how much of this is a work and how much of it is a shoot. I truly like I am so happy to believe that Saito legitimately got injured here because it the way it plays out, it looks like he just he got fucked up in a way that Takahashi said, I'm not gonna let you wrestle the rest of this match.
And it's totally believable because the headbutts alone could have caused some of that damage, but that spinning heel kick thing, he connects right with the point of the heel.
Yeah.
And Saito sort of has his hands up, but I mean it is point of heel to like hand over the eye socket sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So it and he doesn't move that hand from his eye for the rest of the file. And he, as you said, he's like crying, and then like after it gets called, he is screaming and crying.
Dude, he is like furious. He is pissed. He is like begging them to just let him keep fighting. Like Tajiri and the other karate guys like kind of have to pull him out of the ring. And that is when little karate young boy Keigo Kurahara steps up. Aoyagi's like kind of clutching him on the shoulder, like this is you got this kid. And Mr. Takahashi says, "All right, we'll restart it." and like immediately he is swarmed by fucking he is swarmed by I think Koshinaka gets on him and just starts beating the fuck out of him.
So that's another reason that I'm like, this might have been for a shoot because he, especially like the finish, the throw and the finish, he does not look like he knows what's happening. He looks like he's fighting for his life. Like he's
Yeah.
trying to stay on the mat, his feet on the mat, and he cannot.
No, not at all. And as you said, Kobayashi at some point gets him. Kobayashi might have had him the entire time actually. Kobayashi really just such a piece of shit. I mean, I can't say enough. He's not only the one that caused all this, like especially on this fucking episode, he is like scum of the earth. Um, but he hits a super like unsafe suplex, and Kago like tries to get up and he's trying to fight back, and Kago is like throwing like all live rounds. You don't really see it because the camera never focuses on him when he's like doing good for like the 3 seconds he is, but like you can see it in the corner. He is throwing like hot shots. Um, but of course, Kobayashi's just suplexing him to hell, and then fucking puts him in a chokehold. And I don't even know if he taps. I think Takahashi just calls it because he's actually getting choked to death.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't look like a finish. It looks like a okay, this is how I'm gonna end this. Like, and you have no
Yeah,
choice in the matter whatsoever.
yeah.
So Saito's super pissed. They've killed this kid, which is really, if you think about it, like what this feud really needed is like a little more fuel on the fire.
Yes, no, exactly. I mean, this was started by Kuniaki Kobayashi killing one of the Seishin Kaikan kids. And now, a few months in, we are once again seeing him kill another kid who has just been literally has been pulled out from the not wrestling world and thrust into it. And in a minute, he has been dropped on his head like twice and choked unconscious. I mean, like, again, there is really nothing that compares to this in terms of I'm even saying like quality wise, which like I fucking love this, so it is kind of there too. But like even in terms of just how this match exists, I have never seen any other match that looks like this, except for the other matches in this feud. And
Yeah,
this is to me like for these kinds of matches, which again, this is kind of the last one. I do think this is the best of these ones. Like I think this one especially adding on the whole drama with Keigo Kurahara coming in and Saito's eye, but even without that, just in terms of the action, this is like unreal wrestling. Unreal.
yeah, it's fucking incredible. And the are we ready to talk about the next one?
Yes, I feel like I know what you want to comment on first though.
Um, well, it has to do with what we're talking about because I like morbid curiosity, right? Well, really, I looked these up on Cage Match to look at the cards because that's really interesting to me. Like,
Yeah.
what else is going on in New Japan at the time? Who else is around? And found some fun stuff there today too. But you know, if the match has a rating, you'll click on it, and the next match we're going to talk about has like a 6.82, and I was like just fuming, and it's rated by Dave like 3.25 stars. I'm not even saying this is like super better than that, but I think it is. I think it's fucking incredible. But this is like a realm beyond star ratings, fucker.
Yes. And
Like you, what are you talking about?
no, that's dude, that's actually like I totally agree. I meant to say that I think last week something of that ilk, but like I think these matches it's like it's hard to rate them like other wrestling matches because of how like different they are. But also just like I feel like if you're trying to quantify it in that way, you kind of almost are not looking at it right. Like this isn't the kind of wrestling you can quantify like other stuff. There's no real way to like break it down and look at it from a like you break down other matches, you look at like, oh, when did how was the babyface performance? How was the heel performance? How was this, that, whatever. I think even though you can still do that with these matches, the core of them is so separated from that kind of work to the point that I would even go so far as to say, like, if someone looked at this and said, I don't like it because it's not wrestling, I would kind of get that. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
I
barely
love it.
is.
I love it and I do think it's wrestling, but if someone said I can't enjoy this because it's just not wrestling, I'd be like, you know what? That's like totally fair. Like fucking same thing with K to 326. I've had like two people tell me with that match, and that's one we'll talk about eventually. Like I'm not able to enjoy this because I feel like this is just too divorced from wrestling. And I'm like, you know what? That is like a totally valid opinion. And I feel the same way with this shit. But yeah, no, the next match having a 6.82 and a 3.25 star, like, come on, man. I will say though, the last tag right near the end because this is from a TV broadcast. They play the New Japan music from the transition song, and they have slow mo replays of like Koshinaka killing people, killing Saito, and I'm like, this is so awesome.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like in the true sense of the word. It's like you're watching this and you're like, what planet did this come from?
Yeah. And speaking of really cool production decisions, even before this match starts, they do a little matchup screen of the guys backstage warming up. And usually they put like some music over this. For this one, they just put like a heartbeat sound effect. And I'm like, wow, man. I fucking, we say it a lot. I love New Japan's production. I've loved whoever they had in the booth for like 10 years. However many people were there, they like always got it right. And that is such a cool fucking thing for this match, man. But this is the only rivalry of the entire feud, actually. Or not the only oh my god, the only rematch of the whole feud. What the fuck am I saying? Um This is the only rematch because this is Saito, Akitoshi Saito against Kuniaki Kobayashi from April 30th, 1992. We are here in the Ryogoku Sumo Hall.
And yeah, and
Um,
going to what you said about production, when it cuts away from that, it's showing like a shot of like the roof and the rafters.
yes,
And
dude.
my first immediate thought was like, it has been a wild couple of months for Akitoshi Saito because look
Yes,
where he finds himself.
dude. I mean,
Like,
Saito has been in like every single major wrestling arena over the last like 4 months. At least in Japan, he's been in every single major arena, and now after he started it in the dome, fucking coming out and making the declaration, and now he is here in Sumo Hall, and he's fighting the guy that the whole start of this feud, the first match of the feud, like one more match with Kuniaki Kobayashi, and I mean, if fucking face of intensity, like a monster of focus is Akitoshi Saito. Uh, there's this, I mean, again, presentation wise, everything great. Like these two guys come out with their squads. Akitoshi Saito is walking out with Masashi Aoyagi, who has a full beard and is dressed like he is ready to go to the yacht club.
I
Um,
literally wrote Yacht Rock Oyagi.
yeah.
And I
uh,
also wrote that this is almost the exact fit I was wearing to church in like 1998.
That's awesome.
Without the patch. He had a patch.
Yeah,
He had the sailing club patch. But he had like a blue blazer and khakis and like a open collared shirt. He looked
yeah,
incredible.
he did. And Kobayashi comes out. He's got a squad of wrestlers with him, all in the like jerseys, except for cornerman Shiro Koshinaka, who is dressed like he is ready to bench press in the dojo. Um,
And he's walking in front.
he is. He's leading the way. Like, I mean, and I will say with this match, you mentioned in the DMs, you're like, hey, should I know about what's going on with like whatever
Yes.
the sign is?
Give me the
Uh,
lore.
so, and I sent a photo of this to Aubie. There is a Kurikan show in between the last match and this one. On that show, Saito and Aoyagi come out. Saito has an eye patch on, and Aoyagi is carrying the Seishin Kaikan Dojo signboard. And he has brought it with him. And he has a declaration of challenge where he's basically saying, I want to face Koshinaka, and Saito wants to face Kobayashi, and we will put the Seishin Kaikan signboard on the line. Which on the surface doesn't sound like the biggest deal. So I will say, in terms of the, and I don't know how much of this is like, I could be pulling this out of my ass. This is just from what I understand from just reading stuff and watching stuff. Um, for a lot of dojos, the like traditional Japanese signboard that has like their name on it, that's a big deal. Like that is a it's I saw one person outright identify that it kind of represents the spirit of a dojo is that signboard. And a big part of like the dojo raid culture at one point, especially in the States. This is a big thing whenever that was like happening in like Chicago and shit with like Count Dante. Um Guys would go in and they do these dojo raids, and part of them would be stealing the dojo's signboard because it was a sign of like really big disrespect. Like we just took this thing that's meant to represent the spirit of your dojo. Um, so so Aoyagi putting this board up on the line is basically saying I'm staking the entire honor of my karate school on these matches. And if you win, you get to take this, which means you have my honor. Like you have taken everything from me.
And it
Um
adds such an insane element to all this stuff. But if you've seen a kung fu movie, like that's what kind of what I said. I said, "Is this thing?" Or are you going to tell me it later on the pod? But it's if you see somebody like with a wooden sign and like a letter, you know what that
yeah,
means.
yeah, exactly. Um but yeah, this is the first match. From my understanding, the whole signboard thing is that in this match, the signboard is on the line. If Saito wins, they keep it. If Kobayashi wins, the wrestlers take it. But in the match happening a few days after it, it is on the line again. So, regardless of who wins this one, the real deciding factor of who takes home the board will be the next match. However, it is still a major point of like, if Saito does lose this match, then he has just lost the honor of the dojo. And now it's up to Aoyagi to get it back.
Yeah, and
Um,
it doesn't matter like what it actually is, but you can tell by watching like the intros and stuff how important it is to Aoyagi.
yes, he's
I
like
mean, he
hugging the thing.
yeah, and it later on he just stares at it, but he, and the way he's like firing up Saito is definitely like, all right, this is you got to die for this shit.
Yeah, no, it's make or break. And I mean Saito dies, like he shit, man.
But I
He
had to
does.
clip this shit at the beginning that was so insane to me, like the fever pitch that the crowd builds to, like
Yes.
as they're being introduced, and then when the bell rings, it goes even higher.
Yes.
Ugh,
Uh,
heat.
just injected into my fucking veins,
Yeah, dude.
dude. Um but it's funny because we have that heat, and for the first time in the whole feud, they don't rush before the bell, and when the bell rings, they are calculated. Like Saito is moving in carefully, Kobayashi's keeping a little bit of distance. It is a complete like divorce from the kind of match structure they were doing before. This is them really working like a traditional different style fight. Um and it's I mean, I love the pure chaos of the first five matches we talked about as part of this. I love that so much. It's so different. It's so cool. But like at the end of the day, I'm here on different style whites, and I fucking love this kind of different style fight. This is the bread and butter for me.
Yeah.
I love what they did before, but seeing them do this kind of shit, I'm like, okay, wow. We've brought it all the way back to this. And
And
I
when we
mean, these two
lose
guys
in
get
the
it.
just like rabid, like insane crowds, it's because they now have like the added gravitas of the actual honor of Masashi Oyagi is on the line.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
they have to take them more seriously. It can't just be about like I hate this guy and I want to hurt him. It's like I have to fucking beat this guy.
Yeah, no, for the first time in the whole feud, it feels more about victory than injury. And I mean, dude,
Yeah,
I
this
love
is
these
this is
guys.
this is like the dragon you're chasing, especially if you have listened to this and watched these along with us and like have the context. This is like as good as it gets in watching wrestling. Just the anticipation for this. And then
Yes.
they deliver to an insane degree in the actual fights.
Yes. This is again uh way more of a traditional different style fight, but it is still not lacking in that aggression. Um it's cool because it really is just like the chaotic moments of the last few matches have now just been inserted into the more well-known different style structure, because when these guys like skirmish, they're back at it. Kobayashi hits like a big knee, and that kind of signals that okay, now we're gonna get into a little bit of a fight, and they fucking fight it out.
But they like obey the ref on
They do,
breaks.
they do.
Even if they're
This is
dirty breaks and they like yeah, they let counts happen and stuff.
They do, which again, just not a thing in any of the other matches. But Saito, Kobayashi battling it out. Saito, of course, karate acumen all the way to the top. But at one point, pretty early on, he does go for a Fujiwara armbar, and I wrote down in my notes, "Shout out Koichiro Kimura," because I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the moment. This is him fucking pulling it out. Um, and it's not too far after that when Kobayashi gets Saito in the corner and just unleashes with like corner punches and headbutts. And fucking the second that Takahashi pulls him away from Saito, you could see Saito has a river of blood just going all the
Gushing.
way down his face.
Gushing.
Completely.
And yeah,
Um,
he's like Kobayashi is incredible in all of these, but like I said this week, he is like the knee you, front kick you, like
oh,
thrust kick and headbutt you to death wrestler. And
yes.
and break your arm with an arm bar like
Yeah,
it's nonstop.
Kobayashi is so like there has never been a man that has thrown better gut kicks than Kobayashi in these matches, because he is throwing them with such ill intent. Um, and as you said, with the fucking always hunting for like these submissions, and this is the match where it feels the most like Kobayashi has cracked the code, and he's like, okay, I really just have to get these guys on the ground. That's all I got to do, because then I can just rip into them. So he is, hitting those suplexes where he's grabbing onto the gi, and he's throwing these like knees to the gut to get him down, and he's putting on like any sort of heel hook or
A-
arm bar or
And
anything.
usually when he throws the knees to the gut to get him down, he adds one to the head like as they go down.
Yes, dude, it's fucked. And Saito, I gotta say again, Saito is not like new to the business. He's been in it since 1990. He had the war run, or not the war run, the wing run. Um, he is a battle tested wrestler. Um, More so than people would probably expect for him. Uh, Having said that, there are moments in this match where he exhibits a understanding of what he is doing that is so beyond what his like actual experience is. Um, as he is bleeding out and trying to fight back, there's this point where he gets up and he just swings a punch in a random direction, just like throws his arm. And I had to like sit back and like rewind it like three times, and I'm like, holy fuck, he's doing the Terry Funk cell.
Yeah.
Like,
So whoever rated this match, you have to add a star just for that.
yeah, dude,
Bitch ass.
bitch, get back on it. Um, and again, Kobayashi just ripping into him with these holds. He puts on like a heel hook or a single leg crab or something that he just will not let Saito out of, just wrenching on it so hard. And it's awesome because Saito like he's like fighting, and he gets the ropes and he tries to fight back, and he gets put right back on the ground, and you can see Shigekazu Tajiri in the corner. He like throws in a towel, And Mr. Takahashi like looks over at it and looks at Tajiri to like try and confirm like, are you actually like throwing in the towel here? And fucking Yacht Club Aoyagi
Oh.
gets up right next to Tajiri and slaps him so hard. Like we are in Ryogoku Sumo Hall, and it is a like grenade blast of a slap. Like you could hear it outside the building probably. And Tajiri like collapses off of the apron from how hard he hit him.
And then he kicks him in the head.
Yeah. So because Tajiri's like trying to argue to him like we need to end the match. It's just like Aoyagi's like, no, bitch, he just keeps
Yeah,
beating him
what
up.
think about what an insane overstep that is on his part, though.
Yes. Like
You're
look
like
at
JoJo sign is on the line.
Dojo Sign on the line. You were Tajiri. You were like the like fourth in command, and first in command is standing right next to you, and second in command is the one in the ring, and you're making the decision to throw the towel in.
I mean,
Like,
it was a slaughter, but
yeah, no, Saito is bleeding out. He's like actively like on the verge of death. But you can't throw the towel in. You just can't.
yeah.
Like um and that leads to Saito getting up, bloody mess. Randy Marsh, I ain't hear no bell, like throwing crazy knees at fucking Kuniaki Kobayashi. And that's when I wrote in the notes, because obviously Kobayashi immediately hit a takedown upon getting those knees. I wrote he's figured out the tech where he can just grapple fuck Saito and win.
Yeah. And he
Like,
does something that I watched like 5 times in a row, where he tries to grab Oyagi's like kneeing with his left leg, and he knows that Kobayashi's trying to grab it, and he quite won't quite let him get it, and then he
yes.
throws one with his right leg, and Saito catches it and like rides him down by the leg, and as they're going down and Saito's like trying to put his right hand down, he just like knocks his hand off of the mat so he falls completely on the ground into a headlock. It was so beautiful. In the midst of all this like raging insane violence, he just busted out like some of the nicest like technique I've ever seen.
That's like the most striking thing with Kobayashi, because he is like incredibly violent, incredibly unrelenting with like the knees and the headbutts and the gut kicks and everything. And the grappling is very much, I'm gonna rip your like arm apart or your leg apart. But whenever he's actually doing like the takedowns, um, I mean, you see the way he goes about doing these takedowns, and you can say like this guy could fight in fucking rings, dude. Like I'm serious. He
Yes, that's
he
what
is
it looked
doing some
like. It looked like
crazy shit.
Kiyoshi Tamura.
Yeah, no, there's a point in a match we're gonna talk about later where he does this like leg trip where he like kicks out the guy's leg like out from under him to get him to flip, and I'm like, that is just straight up something I've seen Volkan do. Like
Yeah.
that's unreal. And I'm saying this word a lot, and I'm trying to spice up my vocabulary, so I'm trying not to do that. But like, so much of this stuff feels beyond any other wrestling I've seen in terms of the struggle and the way they go about fighting. And this is the closest to like a normal different style fight we've seen in the feud. And even then, like we haven't seen a guy like Kuniaki Kobayashi before. We just haven't. There's not been someone like that in these matches.
Who trained him? Do we know?
I'm gonna wager Inoki and Kotetsu Yamamoto. That's just me spitballing, but if I check, oh, Kotetsu and Masa Saito. So
Okay. I
I
was
am,
thinking
yeah.
there had to be some Inoki in there too. I'm
I'm
sure he
sure
was
Inoki
there.
I'm sure he sat under the Inoki learning tree at some point, but Saito actually makes a lot of sense because of the wrestling shit.
Yeah.
Like, but Kobayashi is just beating him down, and this is around the time
Oh,
that
it's right
Saito
after.
hits. Yeah, Saito hits like a spin kick, and he's covered in blood, and you can hear the crowd. The crowd is like cheering. Saito in this like bloody form, getting relentlessly beaten down. Somehow they have flipped the crowd, and now Saito is the one they want to win. Um, I also forgot to mention in the last two matches, of course, there were Kurose chants in the tag, and
Yeah.
in this one, the fans had to make sure to tell the karate guys that they want the wrestlers to kill them. But I mean, this is which makes it even funnier that earlier in the match, the crowd was chanting for Kobayashi to kill Saito, and now they're cheering for him. Now they're on Saito's side.
And he basically pops out of that crazy headlock, hits the spin heel kick, and like something you see in like a real MMA fight. Like he hits this KO shot, and then he helps him down by just like shoving him like a fucking piece of
Yeah,
shit like to the mat.
yes.
And Kobayashi is also covered in Saito's blood, so it looks even crazier.
It does. It does. Of course, crowd all in his favor. Does not matter though because Kobayashi immediately gets him with another slam, and he's throwing like grounded knees and just ripping at his arm, and he hits this like crazy fucking arm throw directly into a double wrist lock.
I think he
And
was like the Saito was like knocked goofy because
yeah,
the arm throw is like he doesn't have much help.
no,
It's like
it
a
is like
cheap
a
arm throw.
he's like he's doing it like judo style too because he has
Yeah,
the arm in one hand, he's got the gi in the other to like get the full leverage. Um, and he puts on this wrist lock, and Saito is like yelling and screaming and bleeding, and referee calls it. Saito is done. You could see streamers being thrown into the ring after the match, which is like calling card of this era of like that match was fucking crazy.
it's
Um,
like money getting thrown in the ring in Mexico.
exactly, exact same kind of thing. Um, what a fucking match! Like I I love this match so much. It is some of the best karate versus pro wrestler we have seen, and we have seen a good bit of that at this point. But man, like Saito is a godsend.
Yeah, I don't out of words, like you said. I've said unreal and incredible and for all that shit, but you have to see this to believe it, and you have to watch this in order. This is
Hmm.
not like a cherry pick type situation, and you have to listen to part one of this if for some reason you have not done that
Yeah.
already.
If
And it
you're
will be it'll be even better because there are matches on here I have not seen, but I had
Mhm.
seen like probably half of these and loved them a lot. But in the
Yeah.
context of the feud, it adds so much.
Hmm.
Like I had seen Saito Ohara and just thought, like, why are they doing that? Like it's awesome,
Yeah.
but how come how come that happened? And it makes so much sense. And like I said last week that they were building it perfectly with the tags and like kind of moving Oyagi into the feud, and they pay it off. Like they do this perfectly, and they add even more stakes, and it's just a perfect thing. And I'm so glad we have it. I was
Yes.
joking with you like I might stop watching wrestling after this. What what's the point? And of
Yeah.
course I won't. But
Yeah. No,
obviously
we're
we'll have
too
a
deep.
pod
We're
next
too
week.
deep. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. But I mean, yeah, no, if you're listening to this 40 minutes into this point and you still have not played that first episode, you should just pause right now and go do that. Um, I mean, I fully agree that like because I the way I watched this originally was it was the cherry picking. This is how I watched it however many years ago. It was just watching each match individually at different points in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, this shit is awesome. This is like crazy stuff. But even like the tag we talked about at the beginning, the Saito Aoyagi versus Kobayashi Koshinaka. I watched that for the first time in a voice call like 3 years ago. And I thought it was great. But I was almost so taken aback by the kind of wrestling that I didn't know how to process it. Like the whole thing I was talking about, where it's like so divorced from wrestling, you can't even really watch it that way. And I kind of had that experience. I was like, this is really cool. They're really violent and beating the shit out of each other, but I don't know what to think about it. Because I had none of the build and I had none of the understanding of everything that had come before that or everything that was coming after. And I didn't get it. I straight up did not get it at the time. And I think it is it is totally possible to watch these matches in a different order and still enjoy all of them because on their own they are all crazy. However, watching these in order and especially like reading about the context of how these things happen, like the inciting incidents that led to these matches even being as heated as they were to begin with, it is one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had with this wrestling shit because I am dead serious. This is one of the best wrestling storylines ever, just straight up. And we're going to talk about it near the end of this pod. It is also probably one of the most important storylines ever, flat out.
Yeah, because it leads to something almost as awesome.
Yeah, no, they're
Just more traditionally pro res.
yes.
But
So
and
this,
to your point, like the next match we're going to talk about, it has been like an agenda match for me in terms like I mentioned it to everyone. I'm like, have you
yeah,
seen Koshinaka Aoyagi? And I was like, after we did last week and saw all this insanity, I was like, I wonder if this is going to like hit in the same way for me. I was almost like nervous to watch it, and I am happy to report that uh, I like it even more now, and it's perfect.
yes,
And like full stop, not one of my favorite different style fights. One of my favorite wrestling matches ever. I fucking
yes.
love this match.
Yes. So, as Aubie said, 2 days after the match that we just watched, we are here in Chiba Port Arena on May 1st of 1992. 7,500 people in the arena. Different style fight. Shiro Koshinaka versus Masashi Aoyagi. Koshinaka and Kobayashi come out, and they have the Seishin Kaikan signboard. They are in possession of it as per the stipulation of Saito losing. This is Aoyagi's chance to get it back. This is also be all end all. Like from the way they agreed upon it. This is the last match of the feud. That's weirdly that is an important point that we'll get to later. But this is the agreed upon last match because New Japan is like, we are over it. We're done hosting these because our wrestlers are getting hurt. Um, your karate fighters are getting hurt. This is like too chaotic. It's getting us in trouble. This is it. Like, settle your differences and move on. Um, but they are here with the signboard, both men. Again, this is a very traditional, different style fight. Careful with the zoning, less of a ball of fire, more of a simmering volcano. Uh, and I mean, just really early on, there's this great moment where Aoyagi like throws a kick, and Koshinaka kind of he kind of like not catches it, but like checks it, and you can like see him like say something to Aoyagi, and I can only guess that it's whatever he said roughly translates to "come on, motherfucker," because it like sets Aoyagi off in the brain. Like again, more traditional, different style fight. It doesn't turn into the chaos, but like everything after this, this is at Masashi Aoyagi in kill mode from the bell
Yeah,
because
I wrote down that he said, "Come on, bitch." So we were
yeah,
very close
like
on that,
because
which is a
Aoyagi
wild move, man.
Aoyagi, this whole match, like, kick combos, you build up to it, you go for the different limbs, you build to it. Aoyagi does not work like that in this match. From the moment after this kick, every kick he throws is going to be a head kick. Like, basically, every single one is going to be an attempt at a head kick.
And if it's a chest
And
kick, it's the loudest one you've ever heard.
if it's a chest kick, it's not only the last one you ever heard, it also kind of looks like he's trying to go for the head and just
Yeah, it
shot a
might be
little too
like
low.
a neck kick might be more accurate.
Yeah, which we'll fucking get to
Yeah,
that, dude. Because like these guys are
he does like a heart punch, like a shoot heart punch.
yes, yes he does. He does do a shoot hard punch, and Koshinaka is like on the back seat for like a solid like good bit of the early portion of this match. He
He
is.
he absorbs some crazy shit and like seems unaffected
Mhm,
after the "come on, motherfucker" thing, and so he
yeah.
takes like a tremendous beating because he's also like not really selling it, so he
No,
it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, there's this awesome moment where Aoyagi throws a head kick and like Koshinaka goes down and Aoyagi starts to back up and Koshinaka like pops himself up from the like he uses the momentum of hitting the ground to pop back up and like hit him right in the face with an elbow. Like it's again, we
And
talk
his
so good.
strikes are evil too.
Yes,
Like when he lands them, they're disgusting.
we talk so good about the last match and how amazing it was. I like this match even more. You said it to be like starting off this match. This is like to you one of the greatest matches ever. I agree. Like Sting the Voice,
Yes,
I agree. Like this is
and it
so
doesn't have
good.
blood and stuff like the last one. That's how
There's no
tell you how
blood.
fucking good it is.
Like fucking how did they do this? No blood. Like, and I'm not saying that you have to have blood to have a good match. I don't want to. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get fucking the John Moxley blood gooner allegations, and like
that was me. It
as
was me, guys.
yes,
I like
but
blood.
yeah,
Okay,
dude, fucking sue me. Um,
I like blood on a gi specifically.
oh, dude, I mean, who doesn't? But like, no blood, and this is like one of the greatest matches of all time in a storyline that kind of it almost feels like to get to that level you need blood and they just kind of prove like no you don't like you just need to kill each other because that's what they do in this match like amazing moment where Koshinaka catches like Aoyagi's leg and as we said in the last match anytime that fucking Kobayashi caught a leg like it was an immediate throw immediate down Aoyagi is different from Saito though because Koshinaka catches a leg and Aoyagi takes that opportunity to just keep punching him in the face.
And that's his MO in general. Like you are never safe, or
No.
or Koshinaka was never safe in this match because if he's like touching him, obviously if he's got him in a hold, he's within kicking or punching distance.
Yeah. Like I mean just and that's the never safe thing is like so true with Aoyagi because we see another Aoyagi staple like deeper into the match where Koshinaka gets him down for a sleeper, and all Aoyagi does is just like pop his leg up and kick him in the head from the ground.
And the
Because,
power he gets on it is nuts.
dude, it makes a noise. Like you can't even see it all the way on the camera, but you can hear it. Like, how do you do that? How do you fucking do that? But I mean, Koshinaka is not like just to be clear, he's not a pushover in this fucking match. Like right after the whole like catch the leg and still gets punched thing, he hits a backdrop that is so on the top of the head, like all the way there. And it,
I think that at least from what we've seen so far, and even then, like we've seen some of the classic stuff. So this
yes,
is still a crazy statement. I think Koshinaka is the best pro wrestling representative in a different style fight. Like I already said that we've watched the best Onita performance, okay? But like Koshinaka is the perfect pro wrestler for a different style fight. Because like we said last week, he's using like classic pro wrestling stuff and he's just making it for a shoot.
yeah,
And he's just brilliant at selling and timing. And yeah, this one doesn't have the nuclear heat and it still feels chaotic and like super rough, but it is building to a crescendo like in a traditional pro wrestling way.
yeah. I mean, I fucking and you know take a moment to just say, and I think we said it in the last part too. But let's be clear, Shiro Koshinaka, like one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Um, and you really get you do get the feeling of that here because he is so pro wrestling in like all the shit he does. Even when he's just throwing punches, he feels like such a wrestler to go against Aoyagi, which and you know let's go even deeper with Aoyagi here. Aoyagi spent the last year being like a New Japan wrestler. Like he has
Yeah.
been like working the mid cards, teaming with Koshinaka and Kobayashi and all those guys. Like those were his boys. Like they were they were the fucking mid card like hangout guys. Uh And now Aoyagi has just gone all the way deep in karate. And he was never not that, even when he was like doing the mid card stuff. But like, this is so. This does feel like him going back to that same mindset he had in
Yes.
1989 when he was in Kurikan Hall and the entirety of the arena wanted to kill Onita for
Yeah.
disrespecting karate. It is the exact same brain pattern.
Perfect. Yeah,
And
and
fuck,
like he gets that backdrop. We do the kick out of the sleeper. He does Koshinaka does a vertical suplex. He does like a
yeah.
drop kick to the head. So he's breaking out the pro wrestling moves. And like you said, Aoyagi is just full karate monster mode. But he one thing he does do though that maybe this is a karate thing. He does the like mounted punches
Yes.
that are wild.
Yeah, just like wailing on him, just straight up wailing on him, like fucking like that's the type of shit you see when you're watching like the D League Latvian MMA feds where the referee is really sleepy and the guy gets knocked out and the guy mounts him and just starts unleashing punches and the ref just takes like 3 seconds too long to break it up because the fight has already been over for 5 seconds. Like exact same kind of wailing on him. Probably same amount of connection as those fucking Latvian MMA fights. Uh, but I mean, this is also around the time Aoyagi goes gi off finally.
Gi
I
off,
think
belt off.
this is also when the crowd I think starts to get to the Kurose point. I don't remember when they do it, but I think it's around this time when Koshinaka gets a comeback. He gets like a hip attack, which leads into the Kurose, I think, which is such a awesome thing to lead into a
Yeah,
murder him chant.
that's what I'm saying. That's why he's so great.
And
God.
that's when like the moment of the match for me happens where Koshinaka is like punching him against the ropes and he goes to throw one and Aoyagi blocks it and it leads into this like back and forth striking. Like it honest to God, after like the first two strikes, which are punches, it is a straight up like forearm exchange. But it is elbows to the forehead, and it is so energized and so spirited and like I mean I don't even know how to say this without coming off as like almost annoying because people have said this before and it's fucking if you're listening to this podcast you probably agree already. I'm preaching to the choir. But like why the fuck does why are nobody else why is nobody else doing it like this? Like it's a forearm exchange. It is like elbows hard as hell, but the basic format of it is forearm back and forth, and nothing else looks like this anymore. You see forearm exchanges in like every single fucking match, and none of them look like this. And it's I mean these two are like two of the best ever. So like again, you're it's almost unfair, but like God, man, I saw that and I gifted it and I rewatched that gif like 20 times just staring at my computer like drooling. Like it's the best shit ever. And I don't know, man. Like I do actually kind of feel when I saw that I was like why do I watch anything else? Why would I watch
Yeah.
anything after this? Like this is just like I know it's not going to be better. Um it's just these two guys are like immaculate. It is straight up immaculate professional wrestling. Um, yeah, man, I love this match. I
Yeah.
love
I
it a
wrote
lot.
down best ever strike exchange. So
Yeah,
we're on the same page. And but it's not to last because Koshinaka does another traditional pro wrestling move where he hits like a German driver.
yeah, super dangerous German suplex,
Yeah.
and that's the first down count of the whole match too. They finally like he lays off of him so fucking the referee can start counting. Uh, and Aoyagi does get up. He gets up at 9. But that leads directly into Masashi Aoyagi getting slammed with a hip attack and then dropped on his head with that dragon suplex. And, 110 count later, and that's it.
Yeah, and he teased. He had to break out the fucking super finisher. He tried backdrops, crabs. He tried just punching his brains out of his ear. But he had to break out the dragon suplex to end the different style fight. And Oyagi is a broken man.
He is so like despondent. He is fucked up, man. He is so sad. Um, and Koshinaka walks out with the sign. There's like a slight bit of hesitation with Koshinaka and Kobayashi where they're like looking over at Aoyagi, and then they just walk out with the sign because it's theirs. They won, you know. They are the champions. They have defended New Japan against these invaders. They have proven the superiority of themselves. You know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And Aoyagi is a crumbled man. Um,
And
and
to the point of this being better in context, we get an Oyagi chant. And
dude,
that's where I told you I shed a gangster tear. Because when I have watched this before, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. They're chanting for him because he just had like a great match. But what like the point we have gotten to in this feud where we're getting Oyagi chants is, I mean, it's artful.
yeah, no, unthinkable like 2 months before this. But and that's I wanted to mention that with the last match too, and I just forgot to. As they're taking Saito out of the Ryogoku, you can see fans clapping for him and shit. Like these two guys over the span of 2 days have successfully like wrapped the fans back around on them. Um,
From kill him to to
to like,
chanting your name.
yeah, these guys are awesome. We love them. Uh, but of course, you know, match over, sign not taken back. That's it. That is the agreed upon final match. Except,
Oh, oh,
so
oh.
we're going back to the fucking war den because I got some information about this. So after that match, they are backstage. Aoyagi is like laid out. He's like laying on like just the bench, like horizontally, just laying down on it, staring up at the ceiling. Um, and Akitoshi Saito is there. He's wearing his like tracksuit and shit. And Riki Choshu, the head of relations, walks in, goes over to Saito, is like, "Hey man, I have this for you," and he has the signboard, and he says, "Listen, Koshinaka and Kobayashi said that they have newfound respect for you, and they want to give this back to you. You know, they want to show a sign of good faith, and we want to show a sign of good faith to you." And Riki Choshu kind of talks up Saito. He's like, "Listen, man, you have like incredible fighting spirit. The fans love you now. Like, he doesn't say this party, but he basically says, keep your phone ringer on. Like, we don't want you to go away forever." Um, and Saito like cries at
And
this. He gets
he
like
earned
really
that.
emotional. Yeah, he heard that. Like he gets really emotional. He takes the sign back. He thanks him. He's like he goes to Aoyagi, says, "Look, they gave us the sign back." Aoyagi starts berating Saito, yelling at him. He's like, "Give them that fucking sign back. Give it back to them. Give it back to Koshinaka and Kobayashi because I have not won the sign. This is not my sign. Are you disrespecting me? I don't want your pity." Like he goes on a full rant, chewing out Saito, freaking out, like so pissed off that they would just give the sign back to him. And now Yagi says, "I want one more match. Me versus Kobayashi," which really is the whole thing. This should have, like, if you look at it from a perspective of like how this should have gone down, like, you know, the best way possible to just deal with this issue, it would have been from the start Aoyagi versus Kobayashi. But again,
Yeah, that feels like what you're building to. And I didn't know any of that. I just knew this happened on like a produce show, and I wondered
yes.
why. But yeah,
So Aoyagi, uh, we talked about last episode that he tried to play peacemaker. He was trying to resolve the peace between his trainees and the wrestlers he was boys with. And because of that, he never wrestled Kobayashi to begin with. He never had a singles match with him. But this is kind of what you said. It's all been building towards. And Aoyagi says, "I need to face Kobayashi." And the New Japan office says no. We have done this. The agreed upon final match was the May 1st match, you versus Koshinaka. That's what was agreed upon. It's over. There's no reason for us to put our wrestlers against you in this context because it's over. Like, we're done. So Aoyagi goes to fucking Riki Choshu and he goes to Hiroshi Hase and says, hey, I know you're boys with Choshu. Choshu can make this match happen because he has the pull. I'm asking you to please let me wrestle Kuniaki Kobayashi and just one more match. Like fucking the fucking Christian thing with Randy Orton. Like one more match. Give me one more. And Hase and Choshu just seemingly refuse. They won't do it. They will not vouch for Aoyagi. They will not let this happen. So, with the office saying no and the talent relations people saying no, Aoyagi has no other option but to contact Koshinaka and Kobayashi directly and say, hey man, I need to fight you because I don't feel like fulfilled with this. Like, I have a Seishin Kaikan produce show coming up in June. I'm inviting you to come to the show and we will fight it. We will fight it out and we will end this permanently. One more match. And the office finds out that they have gotten this invite. And they say to Kobayashi and Koshinaka, they say, you better not fucking go. Because we told him it's over. And we're like, it really reads like the way they were doing this in the magazines is the office was really pissed at Aoyagi. They're like, we told him no, and he's doing this, and there's gonna be fucking like we might not bring him back because he's doing this shit. And Kobayashi and Koshinaka, against the wishes of the New Japan offices, they go to that Seishin Kaikan show and they bring the signboard with them. And Kobayashi says, I will have this match with you. And that is how we get our final match of the rivalry. Seishin Kaikan show in Nagoya. It is Masashi Aoyagi versus Kuniaki Kobayashi from June 9th of 1992. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Yep.
This is I mean we have this in handheld, very good quality handheld. There's like a slight bit of like frame bouncing at certain points, but it is like pretty damn good quality
It
throughout.
doesn't matter too because the guys like zooming in on their faces and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's a war level handheld.
Yeah, guy on the camera was like really in the zone here. And the whole crowd is really in the zone because this is another hot crowd, and this is a Seishin Kaikan crowd. So, for the first time of the entire feud that we have seen, this is a crowd that is, unapologetically behind Masashi Aoyagi. And I mean, just again, I don't know how this compares to the last match. I sat for a long time thinking about whether or not I preferred this or the Koshinaka match. I think after soul searching, I slightly prefer Koshinaka, but this fucking match is maybe the most violent of anything we've watched today. Like anything we've talked
Period.
about. Yeah, there are some things in this match that I have never seen. Like there is a thing that Aoyagi does, and I'm going to be so annoying about it when we get to it. But I have never seen him do it. Like it's scary fucking Aoyagi. But we get a pre-match elbow in this bitch from Kuniaki Kobayashi because old habits die hard, and he's gotta take a pot shot when he can.
I want to mention too, like this is a Seishin Kaikan crowd, but Koshinaka knocks out a student basically in the pre-match shit talk, and there is like a huge Koshinaka.
Yeah.
That's how awesome he is. Just those two against like the whole school. They're in the ring, just Kobayashi and Koshinaka.
Yeah, and I mean
But you're right.
Kobayashi
Before the bell.
before the bell elbow catches him with a DDT throwing crazy fucking gut kicks right after. Like Kobayashi is kicking the shit out of Aoyagi early on. This is where he hits that leg trip that I was talking about. And I was watching that and I'm like, wow, man, this guy is like, I mean, this is a genius wrestler right here. I am writing down his name for re-examination for GWE, and I'm punching
Yeah.
myself in the head for not considering him at first. Um, he is so great on the mat here, especially because he is. This is the most he is like hunting for limbs. Because usually he would get someone down and just grab whatever's closest. But he is like, there's a point where he gets almost like north-south position, and he like jumps over Aoyagi's body to put on like a knee bar.
Yeah.
Like this is a like ferocious Kobayashi on the ground. Um, Aoyagi more capable than Saito of just shutting down the grappling though. So he does kind of get some points where he just kind of like forces his way out of it and starts like kicking Kobayashi's ass. But Kobayashi really early on is just like beating him down, getting him in the corner, and this is like when Kobayashi really starts to unleash some like really scary fucking headbutts.
Had to be at least 10.
I say like 20 because he
Yeah.
like he usually puts together at least 5 whenever he gets Aoyagi in the corner, and he gets him in the corner a good bit. um, and Aoyagi selling huge, and there's this awesome moment where he throws a big soul butt right to the gut, and he starts punching him in the face and throwing big kicks, and he gets in the mouth and starts throwing punches. And I think this is around the time, either now or a little bit later, is when Aoyagi starts to bleed, which he like kind of perpetually does for the rest of the match.
Yeah. And these
Um,
mounted punches are like Ralphie on Scott Farkas. Cuz like that's one place where the handheld is crazy because it's like his arms are flying so fast that it looks like he has 4 arms.
yeah,
He's just flailing punches at his head.
yeah,
And that's when the cameraman tries to start a Korosei chant, but
yes.
nobody
Cameraman
joins in.
and cameraman and his boy sitting next to him really start to try to get this going. Which even if because there's one later, there actually is one that happens a little bit later on, I think. Um, but like, what a situation we're in. We're after 7 matches, 8 technically, of the crowd chanting for the wrestlers to kill the karate guys. Here we are right at the end where the crowd is chanting for the karate guy to kill the wrestler. Like this whole match feels like it's finally like Kobayashi getting his comeuppance. Like and even though the matches start with him losing, this is like the match where it really feels like he's getting back what he should have been getting the whole time. Um, And Aoyagi does kind of get it back in blood because then Aoyagi is bleeding and Kobayashi is laying on the mat and Aoyagi walks over and he stomps him directly on the throat. And I replayed that 20 fucking times, dude. Like, it is one of the scariest spots I've ever seen. He just straight up stomps him on the throat as hard as he can, and you can hear the crowd. Like there's like I think like a woman shrieks in response to it. The crowd almost starts to flip on Aoyagi. They almost start booing him because like that's just a murder. That's the first time that it has felt like a Kurose chant has actually led a wrestler to go, okay, I will kill him right now. Then
Thumbs down, got it.
yeah, like let's do it. Like
But in his defense, he was bleeding super heavily, and at this point, it's definitely like 30 headbutts. Like,
yes, no, it's already been a lot of
okay,
headbutts.
yeah.
He is like full of CTE. Um, but he just decides that Kobayashi has lived too long and tries to kill him. And Koshinaka like walks over too. He's like, "Hey man, what the fuck?" And Aoyagi immediately tries to kick him in the head too. Which is kind of why I said earlier, I think this is like the most ruthless Masashi Aoyagi performance I have seen, period. Like more than some of the Onita stuff, more than the Ryuma Go matches where he pops Ryuma Go's eye out. Like the stuff that Aoyagi does here goes beyond the normal level of Aoyagi just being a ferocious, like high level karate fighter. This is like Aoyagi just trying to kill a man, just
He
flat
what
out.
at one point he kicks him so hard in the back that a guy like reverts to like or channels English and goes, "Oh shit!"
Yes. And
Uh,
I mean, again, Kobayashi is not here to be like bitched out. So, with Masashi Aoyagi elevates it to murder attempts, Kobayashi is like game. He's throwing like running boots to the face. He's putting on these like nasty arm bars. He's throwing more and more and more headbutts. And he's got like a crab on at one point that's like so arched on like the small of the back. It looks so nasty. And I mean, just I wrote in my notes that to a certain extent, this is when the match feels really like fucking Memphis. Like, because
yeah, and they both start selling death
they
because they're
do.
both so fucked up,
They're so fucked. They're selling death. Koshinaka or Kobayashi is
crawling
getting
around.
so much heat in these corner like attacks, and Aoyagi is selling crazy. And just like this is Aoyagi like in almost like Jerry Lawler mode for a little bit because he is selling big and getting beaten up, but just one miracle kick to the side, like one of those fucking like sidestep punches from Lawler, just the one like moment of a reprieve, and he's just immediately on him with like head kicks and stomps and punches, and he's elbowing him in the back of the head, and he puts a fucking camel clutch on
Yeah,
Kobayashi where he's got like a sleeper hold on. Like it's just this is an Aoyagi in a zone we've never seen him.
it's insane. And then he kicks him in the chest like 14 times
Yeah,
and
she
gets a
does.
7 count. And then Kobayashi hits like a desperation elbow, and then they trade basically. They each get one of like the goddamnedest punches I have seen in a wrestling match. So yeah, it is like Lawler Dundee. And
Yeah,
then he goes for another lariat, and Oyagi he goes off the ropes, and Oyagi headbutts him to
dude.
counter the lariat.
Okay, yeah, that is genuinely one of the craziest things ever. Because there was the best comparison point I can think of is the Ikeda Ishikawa match from Germany, the one that people really love, the inmates really love because it happened in Germany. Um, the finish of that where Ikeda runs off the ropes and then does like a running headbutt to Ishikawa to win. This is kind of like that, except Kobayashi is significantly faster than 50 something year old Daisuke Ikeda, and they like connect so gross with this headbutt, and they both immediately just go down. And I mean, it is a convincing, like, double down knockout thing. And that is kind of what happens because referee Wally Yamaguchi is like looking at him and he's like, I mean, these guys have both just smashed their skulls together at a million miles an hour. Like, I'm ending the fucking match. Like, they're dead. The crowd is pissed. They are so mad at this. Koshinaka gets in. He starts talking to Wally. He's like basically begging Kobayashi to get up and keep fighting. Um, and that is around the time, and that like when he's like begging him, Aoyagi like pops himself up just enough to throw a gut punch, and that's the signal from Wally to say, okay, you know what? We'll let the match go on a little bit longer. But it's kind of a at that point it's there's a time limit on this. We don't know how long, but Wally Yamaguchi has already attempted to call the match off because of the damage these guys have taken. So inevitably, unless someone gets a big hit, this has a limit. But I mean, it adds. It's like there's like a whole breath of life that comes in from this whole little thing because the headbutts totally could have been the finish, the double headbutt like collision spot, but them like playing off the like you can't let this end with a double like knockout. You can't let it end with a no contest. This is the final fight that they've agreed upon, and Aoyagi is so game to just get up and keep fighting, even though he is like the most dead man alive.
He's crawling around between moves, and this is Lawler like crawls to the ropes, pulls himself up, and he actually does the drop down
He,
stomach punch.
he does. He does the punch. And I mean, this is also when Kobayashi just kind of goes, you know what? I'm just gonna DDT you to hell. Like he starts hitting so many DDTs on Masashi Aoyagi, and every time he does, he goes down and like stays down with him because again, he is a dead man walking too. And every time both guys go down, Wally Yamaguchi kind of looks around like, okay, are you guys gonna let me end the match now? Because this is you can just tell from the way he's looking. Like this match should have ended 5 minutes ago, and I'm doing a bad referee job. But you guys will kill me if I end it, so I don't know what to do. um, this is also right around the time when Aoyagi, they're like both kneeling, and Aoyagi throws like a capo kick from the kneeling position,
Yes.
and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was awesome. They're
And
like, yeah, they're on their knees moving towards each other, and he just does a capo kick.
and Kobayashi, of course, hits the fisherman suplex. You know, big fucking move for him. Again, like I would have bought that as the finish, but Aoyagi, upon landing, like turns his body horizontally and starts throwing north-south knees, and they're
They're both dead.
both like laying on the ground, like hitting each other while horizontal. And that is when Wally Yamaguchi just says, I don't care anymore, calls the bell. Crowd is super pissed, and I get it, but like fuck, what a way to end it. Both guys still fighting but unable to even stand.
Yeah, I wrote that too. They're booing, and I was like, actually, this is perfect. But yeah, if I
Yeah.
bought a ticket, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But and, and what else are they gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, you they're Koshinaka and Kobayashi, I would assume, because I'm being worked, are already going to be in trouble for for
Yeah.
getting to the show. He
Yes.
can't do the job too,
No, exactly.
and Oyagi can't lose.
No, it's his fucking Fed. Like this is
Yeah,
it is the perfect kind of ending. I will say we are in 92, so like at this point in Japan, the no contest like main event finishes are starting to become a little bit passe because by the end of like the late 80s they're kind of already
yeah,
starting to be flat gone out. But this is like this is like right near the point where because if you do this in like the late 90s, I don't think they have this reaction because it's been long enough. But these types of finishes have just stopped being like the main finish you see. So seeing it again probably just really set people off.
but we still get the emotional payoff,
We do, because
and it leads to
Masashi
bigger and more beautiful things. Not
Masa,
bigger.
Masashi Aoyagi in the ring, bloody, crying, standing there with Kobayashi. Kobayashi gets a mic and he calls for the sign and he walks over and he hands it to Masashi Aoyagi and he says something along the lines of I respect you, fucking here, you didn't beat me, but we are squared up now. Take your sign back. It is yours. And I mean, the last match, the Koshinaka match being the end of the feud, totally works for how they set it up, and like it would work. But as much as it would work, this is the most fulfilling ending because, and it's kind of, I mean, even as I say, it's like a no contest. It's kind of a cop out because in the end everybody wins, I guess. But like Masashi Aoyagi gets the signboard back and proves that Seishin Kaikan deserves respect. Kuniaki Kobayashi seemingly kind of owns up to being a shithead in this moment. And it's a it's a warriors that do battle kind of gain their respect. And it's fucking wonderful. And I'm so glad we have this handheld. We don't have any of the rest of the show.
Yeah,
We just have this match. And I'm
we're
so
missing a
happy we
Jimmy
do.
Graffiti match.
Yeah, dude, we're missing fucking Jimmy Graffiti versus Keigo Kurahara. Come on, man. Like we don't there's a Beef Wellington match on the show. I want to see him fight a karate guy, but like You know,
Saito
like
kills like 3 guys apparently.
Saito goes through like all of the trainees. Like he just kills all of them. And this guy called the Punisher. um, but I'm so happy we have this because theoretically we might have not like if this one guy didn't sneak the camera in and we didn't just happen to have this like we would have ended it with the Koshinaka match. And
Yeah.
again, love that match, one of the greatest matches ever. This is a more fulfilling ending, and I'm so glad we got it, and I'm so glad we have it. Um,
Yeah, I actually like a fucking mark like after this was over, like I just kind of sat for a minute and thought about
yeah,
like the totality of the feud,
yeah,
the journey it took us on.
6 months of just the most fucked up guys being fucked up to each other, and it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Um, and that is it for this storyline, kind of. So we're going to go into a little bit of information about what happens over the preceding months. Um, so after this match, Kobayashi, of course, returns the signboard. They shake their hands, come to an understanding. However, New Japan Pro Wrestling is fucking pissed because Kobayashi and Koshinaka were told explicitly that they could not go do this. Aoyagi was told explicitly that he would not be allowed to have this match with them. So they just completely went against the office's wishes, and there has to be a consequence. So this is when we get into a little bit of backstage politicking shit with New Japan that, again, not even sure how much of this is real or fake. I assume at this point we're in the work territory, but I don't know. Um, Chono makes a public statement where he says that the president of the Players Association, or the Wrestlers Union, which is Shiro Koshinaka, he says that the president of the association cannot be doing things like this because it looks bad for everyone that's in it, and it looks bad for the boys that they're just not going to listen to the office. You're fucking up our relationship with the office. And Shono says that if the president is going to do things like this, he should not be the president. And the office agrees. And the office basically says to Koshinaka, like, we want you to vacate your spot as the president of the Players Association. And we want Kobayashi to leave it entirely. And Koshinaka, seeing the writing on the wall that Shono is kind of rallying the wrestlers against him and that the office is against him now, Koshinaka says, all right, I guess I have to leave. So he leaves the Players Association, and so does Kobayashi. Shono becomes the president of the Players Association. So this is the backstage like thing. It had been like a long time because this is just rivalry between Shono and Koshinaka had been like a public and like backstage thing in the newspapers for a long time, apparently, that these guys have been beefing forever. So people kind of see that this is both actual rule enforcement and Shono trying to get one over a guy that he has beef with. So Kengo Kimura steps in and he tries to be the mediator. He's like, I want to try and resolve this. And, you know, because this isn't good for the locker room or whatever the fuck. And Chono goes, no, Kengo Kimura, you're friends with Shiro Koshinaka. We know what you're fucking doing. um, so then Kengo Kimura gets pissed. He's like, okay, I quit the association too then. Like, if you're going to fuck on me, like, I won't be a member of it. So Kengo Kimura and Kobayashi and Shiro Koshinaka have all left the Players Association. And in this moment, they decide that they're going to take a stand against both the offices and the Players Association. And in the process, they send an invite to Aoyagi and Saito and say, hey, man, I know we are beefing, but like, we're good now. And the offices are fucking on us. So, like, we want you guys to come help us out. So they all join forces and they create the Anti Players Association, which is, I mean, here's the thing with Anti-Players Association. People do not talk about it a lot in this context, but we need to. The NWO exists because of the Anti-Players Association, just flat out. Like, people talk about the whole thing with the UWFI and how that inspired, like, the whole NWO thing with Bischoff and stuff, and that is true. But the way they went about it with UWFI, and specifically the anti-establishment, like, part of it, that was the Anti-Players Association. That was the whole basis of it, was anti-establishment. This is like, I truly believe it when I say it, and I could, maybe I'm off base here, but without this stable, like, we don't have an entire generation of, like, fuck the system stables, which are, again, like the NWO and shit like that. Like, that just doesn't exist without this stable. So you can look at this storyline and you can draw a direct line between everything that happened with Seishin Kaikan and Kobayashi and Koshinaka all the way up to the NWO being a thing that exists.
Yeah, dude. I never even thought about it that way. That's crazy. I was just like, yeah, they link up and they fight Tenryu, but
Yeah, yeah. That's the other thing with the Anti Players Association too, is like because they lead into a feud, because there's a feud going into like the end of '92, start of '93. That's like uh fucking Koshinaka against Chono. But it also goes into the war stuff. Because like the Anti Players Association is weird. Like, they are anti the New Japan offices and they are anti the Players Association, but they are pro New Japan. Like, they are like New Japan nationalists. Like, they fucking they love
like Nate.
Tokon. Yes, exactly, like Nate. Um, so when all the war shit kicks off, they end up going and fighting for New Japan. But that's kind of a greater evil in this moment is Tenryu and his lumpy friends. And that leads into some of the best matches ever. So
Yeah. Wow. Monumental.
actually monumental. So yeah, I fucking love the storyline. I love everything that it created. I love everything that built up to it. I love everything that happened in it. I think like 3 of the matches in this feud are probably on my top 100 ever. Uh, I think that everyone involved is the coolest wrestler of all time.
Yes.
And even fucking Tajiri with his like haircut, like, I think he's awesome. So yeah, man, I love different style fights.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Have we thought about? Probably. I haven't thought about anything but this. So.
I I have thought about it. I do have something down for next week. Because there's one guy that we talked about last week, and we didn't even mention him. Well, you did mention him here. You mentioned him in passing. Um, Michiyoshi Ohara. He is a little bulldog of a man, and we love him. He showed up last week to face Saito, and basically what was the equivalent to a Saito build-up match. But Ohara fucking showed a lot of guts, a lot of heart. He showed that he's a fucking dog. Um, but going into the 2000s, he becomes a mad dog. And Michiyoshi Ohara finds himself in a foreign land called the Inoki Genome Federation. And next week, we're going to take a look at what he was doing there, because, I mean, they put him against some fucking crazy dudes.
I cannot wait to see it. I am so high on wrestling after watching and talking about all this stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
ready to continue in the Lord's work here.
Yes, sir.
Well, send us some questions or something.
Yeah,
Comment
dude.
on the YouTube video, something.
Yeah,
Do it.
fucking tweet us. If you listen to this, you probably know what our Twitters are. Send us a fucking question. Ask us things. It doesn't even gotta be about different style fights. You guess what my favorite color is. You're not gonna find out though. I'm keeping that close to the chest. So.
Final episode reveal. John's favorite color. Well, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
We
fuck
will be
yeah.
back next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.